Hello. Hey guys, this is the Virtual Gamer, and I am here for another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Under the Dome, Episode 3, called Manhunt. Okay, so basically I'm going to go over a little bit of what happened this episode, and then give you guys some of the good and the bad and the ugly. So basically, some of the things that we've learned, Big Jim is in charge of this town. No doubt about it anymore. He is the one that's in charge, and he showed in this episode that will do whatever it takes. You know, if it comes down to uh, shattering someone's pelvis, he will do it. Let me just state before I really get too far into this, if you're just listening to this and you've never heard any of my reviews before, or don't know what a review is, I'll tell Tommy, he'll come around and hit you in the head with a tack hammer because you're a retard. No, just kidding. There are going to be lots of spoilers for the next however long this takes. So if you haven't watched the episode and you don't want to be spoiled, then turn this video off now. If you don't mind being spoiled, or if you've watched the episode happily, then go ahead and keep listening. This is a review / discussion, and I'm basically just discussing what happened, giving my good, my bad, and my ugly. So, okay, so basically the episode starts off. The first main thing that happens is that Linda is shown taking Paul, the psycho retard that went off and started shooting off his gun and ended up killing another officer last episode. She's taking him to jail, and she puts him in the cell and then falls for the good old, I'm choking, I have asthma. Opens the cell, boom, gets hit, gets knocked out, and gets trapped in the cell. The bad guy gets away with a gun and with a bunch of ammunition he stole from the department. And so that is where the title of the episode comes from, Manhunt. They're hunting this guy down. Some of the other things that happen in this episode, we find out that Chester's Mill is filled up with a bunch of racist bigots that don't like gay people. So, also, let's see, Big Jim decides to put together a task force to hunt down the fugitive that has escaped. So he basically goes into the bar and finds two able-bodied men who are way too old to be doing that. One of them ends up getting shot. And Barbie proceeds to let Barbie know that he knows that he was military and blah, blah, blah. So basically, Jim recruits Barbie, and now they're bestest pals. You think, anyway. I mean, they're not bestest pals, but Jim really trusts him now that he helped him take down this guy. And they were actually saved by Linda after hunting this guy down for the whole episode. She's the one that actually came and saved them. They were about to get shot. But anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. But, I mean, you just never know. I mean, Jim apologizes to Linda at the end of the episode for kind of telling her that she can't really run the show now that Duke is dead, but he gives her props at the end and lets her know that he is behind her. However, you never know with that guy, because Jim, he seems just like a guy. I mean, you could just never trust anything that comes out of his mouth. So, couple of pretty much everything else. Okay, Junior decides to try to go through these old tunnels to try to find a way out of town. him and Angie used to hang down in the tunnels and used to walk in the tunnels and everything, and when they were lovey-dovey together. And now she decides that'll be a good way to maybe try to get rid of Junior, is to send him down the tunnels. Maybe he'll get lost and die down there or something. But Shumway follows him in. She meets him on the street, and he looks suspicious, and he's like really off-putting. Don't ask me any questions. I'm not going to answer any of your questions. So she follows him down into the tunnels, and they end up having kind of a heart-to-heart. She lets him know that everyone makes mistakes, and that he doesn't need to worry about some mistakes he's made, because everybody does make mistakes. And she kind of gives a little bit of her backstory, which is that she used to be a reporter in Chicago, and she made a mistake and accused a guy through the newspaper of one of the politicians that was running for office. Accused him of something, and it turned out to be false, and she ended up getting fired, and her career derailed, and that's why her and her husband moved to Chester's Mill, and find out also that Chester's Mill is his hometown. So even though no one else seems to be worried about where this guy is, it's his hometown. And she doesn't even seem to really be worried about where her husband is at this point. So anyway. So she goes down in the tunnels and actually makes it out alive. Junior kind of lies to her and says that Barbie attacked him for no reason, and that Barbie's a psychopath and all that. And I think she's kind of starting to believe that towards the end of at the end of the episode. She's taking Junior home at the same time that Big Jim and Barbie are walking to Big Jim's house. They kind of meet up and everything, and then we find out that Barbie has some kind of map that has something marked on it. We don't know what it is yet, but Julia found it, and so I'm sure next episode we're going to find out a little bit more about that. Jim, we find out too that the reason that Junior is such a psychopath is because his mother passed away, and he's had to grow up with Big Jim as his only viable source of a parent, and doesn't appear to be the best parent in the world at all. So Joe, who I believe is Angie's younger brother, doesn't seem to care where his sister is. Nobody seems to care where Angie is. Nobody seems to notice that she is even missing. Nobody seems to notice. I mean, he's there by himself, but his sister, apparently, he doesn't care where she's at, or maybe she disappears a lot. I don't know. But he befriends the daughter of the gay couple that come into town, and they don't know, but they both had seizures, similar seizures. At the end of the episode, we find out that they both have seizures together, and they're both chanting the same thing as they're having seizures, which really doesn't make sense, because when you have a seizure, I mean, all your muscles tense up. It doesn't seem like you'd be able to talk at all while you're having a seizure. But you never question Stephen King. Come on now. No questioning him. So everything else that happens this episode is really pretty much not important to the main storyline. I mean, it's all just kind of filler. So overall, I think it was a good episode. There's still some questions that need to be answered. We don't have very much backstory for Barbie yet. We don't really have very much backstory for a few of the characters, like Linda, and we're finding all that out as we go along, which is the way I like it. I don't like to know everything right at the beginning. I don't need the backstory of every character in the first 2 or 3 episodes. I like for that to unfold as time goes on. It's the reason I loved Lost so much, is because You didn't find everything out right away. You know, there's mysteries that make you want to keep watching the show, and that's kind of the way it is here. So, but overall, I think the episode was really good, and I'm looking forward to the next episode, and then continuing on with this TV show. It's got me hooked. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and you guys have a great day.